You mentioned owning your own career growth. If I am climbing up the ranks, I've built my portfolio and I've networked and I've got to a mid-level designer and then eventually senior. What's next after a senior designer position?
I typically see three common paths. The first path, which I think is the most common, is just continuing to be an individual contributor, growing and advancing into a lead designer. It's a very common path. A lot of people came to design, and that's what they enjoy, and that's what they continue doing. Now, for some individuals, they start to think about the management track, which is a very different role. You're no longer hands on doing user research, but instead, you're managing and growing your team. You're scaling your team. You're working with executives and leadership. You're really focusing on how do we make the existing team more effective and how do we keep growing and expanding them. But I think we're starting to see a third path, which is much more common, which is basically the solo entrepreneur path, becoming a freelancer or starting an agency. It can be very challenging and intimidating because you don't have the cushion of a salary, of having teammates and coworkers. You basically become a team of one, and you have to do everything else that your company does. Like, you have to be your own marketing team and attract clients. You have to be your own sales team and sell those clients. You have to be your own finance team, keep track of your finances, your taxes. There's so much more involved there. But those are typically the three most common paths that I see. Is you keep doing what you're doing and eventually reach a higher individual contributor level. You explore the transition into becoming a design manager, or you start your own company, your own agency. You go out there and basically try to replace your existing income with income that you find and obtain for yourself.
I guess it'll be interesting to hear, why did you decide to go into a management role?
I think what's so incredible about the design community is everyone here is just so passionate and amazing, because I think most people, they aren't aware UX is a thing. So if you meet anyone who knows what UX is and they're actually doing it, it's often just a very passionate person. We're all going through similar challenges and obstacles. And yet, for some reason, we're still here in this discipline. As I was thinking about my future and what I wanted to do, I was really passionate about career growth and building up my design team. Even as a senior designer, once again, to owning my career path and creating my own experience, I was just being proactive and volunteering and helping build up our design team. Whether that was helping with hiring, attracting candidates, or helping build our career architecture ladder. I was very active in participating in our team events and activities, even though I wasn't a manager. In addition, I was very passionate about vision and strategy. I was just naturally stepping up and helping lead the company. And what are we building? What's the future? I was just going out there and talking directly with the CEO, with the VP of engineering. And that ultimately helped me gain influence that could empower the rest of my team and build our design culture, get better representation across stakeholders. And that ultimately led me to doing less hands-on design, less hands-on research. I started realizing, oh, that's a lot of what a manager does, is you're basically advocating for your team. You're trying to improve and level up your team, and then you're advocating for them. You're fighting to get that next head count. And so when I realized that a lot of what I was just doing and volunteering to do, most of that fell in kind of the management area. And so when my company hired their first design manager, I just became the natural candidate that was chosen for that role. And ever since I've officially been a design manager, I just haven't looked back. I've absolutely loved it. It's so fulfilling. I love just helping each of my designers grow and develop their skill set. I love building our design community and culture at my company. That's what led me into the design management path.
That's a really good segue to this question that I've got lined up from our audience,
Yeah.
guys, about your pros and cons of management, like the stress that comes with the responsibility of meetings versus IC work. Have you found that to be true?
Yeah, it's interesting. When I was a senior designer, individual contributor, I was mostly just focused on my problems. Either your team's doing great, or sometimes you have team conflict. You're struggling to get on the same page with your product manager. When I became a manager, manager, I quickly realized that everyone else's problems become your problems. And now you're kind of a direct owner and partner in resolving those. And that's not for everyone. Especially right now, I have 9 direct reports. That just kind of multiplies. That's 9 times as many difficult situations. And now you're directly responsible, involved. A lot of designers, they don't want that. They just want to put on their headphones and go jam on some designs and iterations, or they just want to be responsible for their space. They really want to become the expert in their space. As a manager, you need to be the expert on every space, every user, every product, every feature. You've got to start growing outside of just one product manager, one team. You need to build relationships with the whole organization. You also really need to start growing relationships with marketing, sales, customer success, all HR, finance. There is a significant increase in responsibility. You got to now take care of everyone. You got to empower everyone. You can't just focus on yourself and one team. And so for some people, that's exciting. For others, it's daunting. I would rather just be here in my space and do my thing. So there's definitely pros and cons. It can be more stressful. You have to own decisions. When it comes to hiring, you have to decide which of the 500 candidates are we rejecting so we can say yes to one. It's a very daunting challenge of for every yes I say, I have to say no to 500 people, which is very heartbreaking sometimes because there's so many amazing designers out there. The same on the flip side, you hope to never go through this, but layoffs, it's going to ultimately kind of fall on you to figure out who are we letting go. You're going to have to be the one responsible for fighting to get budgets for headcount, for tools, and for other things. But you can see that as a pro or a con. Does that sound exciting and fulfilling and engaging? Or would you just rather be focused on your team, your space? You can take it either way.
So Eric says he's in mid-career trying to switch from digital product management to UX design. What recommendations do you have to make this switch? And how do you tell your story and brand yourself when applying for UX jobs?
It's a great question. My personal opinion is...
Want to listen to the full conversation? Click the video on screen now. Subscribe to the channel if you want to join us live. Oh, wait. Okay, fine, you don't have to join us for the live stream, but if you like stuff like this, then click that subscribe button. I'll see you on the inside. Bye!